In the world of professional poker, few stories are as electrifying or as improbable as that of Maria Lampropulos, a relatively unknown player until her breakout in 2017, when she stunned the poker community by clinching one of the biggest open-field tournament prizes in history. Her victory wasn't a result of blind luck or momentary fortune. It was a display of disciplined strategy, ice-cold nerves, masterful bluffs, and precise raids that left even seasoned professionals awestruck. The rise of a giant slayer. Before 2017, Maria Lampropulos was a name largely unfamiliar to even the most attentive followers of the game. But that changed overnight when she emerged victorious in the Party Poker Millions event in Nottingham, walking away with a cool £1 million, roughly $1.25 million at the time. She became the first woman to win a seven-figure prize in a major open-field poker event. Outside the high-stakes elite circles, this was more than a payday. It was history. From a starting field of over 1,200 players, Maria made her way to the final table, navigating through aggressive pros and battle-hardened veterans. When the final table was set, tension gripped the arena. Every decision, every chip, was worth a fortune, and Maria, she wasn't the chip leader, but from the very first hand, it was clear she was here to win. A tactical opening statement. The final table began with fireworks. In her very first hand, Maria made a move that sent shockwaves across the table. While some might chalk it up to boldness or adrenaline, what really stood out was her composure under pressure. She trapped her opponent Neil expertly, setting up a reverse play that exploited his aggression and punished his misread. She slow-played her strength, masked her intentions, and when the chips went in, she scooped the pot with precision. It was a masterclass in psychological warfare, playing not just the cards, but the opponent.
But
he's trying to do too much too early here, Pug.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you can say, what's he doing? It's amazing what the adrenaline does to you, right?
Now this is great. The way that she has.
Has she called it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is perfect.
I like that.
She had a long thing.
That's a really, really
She's
strong
after him
play
for,
under this sort of pressure.
She's after him for the whole stack.
But by the way, she is also saying to herself that she's willing to fold on an ace-high board, right? I mean, that's also what she's...
I don't think that was a major part of her thinking. She's just setting a trap. I think she knew that Neil was playing back at her. That if she re-raised, she was going to lose him.
Yeah.
She's prepared to take the chance, and it's not a bad flop for her, is it? With the King of Hearts in her hand.
It's fairly insane. Well,
she might just raise now. She doesn't want to give him a chance to get away.
Let me just finish very quickly. My point is that you don't realize
I thought you were finished.
You don't realize sometimes what a guy has been doing for the 12 hours since we've seen him. And my guess is that what Neil has been doing is not sleeping much. And I think he's come to the table a little bit cracked up.
Yeah, it's a very old school way to play against aggressive players, and it's worked to perfection. She knew. She's still thinking now. No, she's waiting. She's calling quickly. She's calling now. She always takes her time, all the time, and that's fine. And she's got 100% in this pot. He's got no way of winning it, and she played it to get the absolute lot. That was brilliant.
Reading the field. A few hands later, Maria showcased another weapon in her arsenal, her ability to control tempo. She raised with 109, trying to steal blinds, but got called by Metis, a tough opponent in the big blind with 54. What followed was a demonstration in reading texture and exploiting passivity. Maria continued to apply pressure on favorable runouts and picked off pots that others might have surrendered. Even when she missed flops, she rarely checked out of the hand. She used board textures and timing tells to assess where she stood. In another key hand, she checked back second pair -5 on a mid-board and allowed Mattis to bluff into her. On the river, facing a sizable bet, Maria tanked and called. Stone-faced, she dragged in another pot. The crowd and the commentary booth erupted. "Absolutely amazing call," said one commentator. "That's world-class." Aggression with air. What truly separated Maria from her counterparts was her courage to bluff intelligently. In one memorable hand, she 3-bet with 92, a bottom-tier hand in most ranges. But Maria wasn't playing her cards. She was playing her opponent. Her 3-bet came at a moment when her opponent was likely opening wide. It was a textbook polarized play, either a monster or air. But it worked. The fold came quickly, and Maria collected another pot uncontested. The turning point. Throughout the final table, Maria continued calling down with what seemed like marginal hands. Top pair, second pair, even ace-high. But time after time, she was right. Her ability to sniff out bluffs became a defining feature of her run. These weren't lucky guesses. They were educated, calculated decisions based on betting patterns, timing, and instincts sharpened by years of practice. One of the most dramatic hands came against Jeremy Panton. Maria limped in with a 3, hit 2-pair on the turn, and checked again to induce a bluff. When the river brought no help for her opponent, and he fired big, Maria calmly called. Another player down. Another chip stack added to hers.
I mean, I can think of a lot of players who could have started like that poker and were going to publish it when they won a tournament. One guy started. One guy started with a quill.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about this call she made. It
not an awful lot, but she's taken very, very long about it.
With all decisions, yeah. That's a fair comment.
She's been taking a long time about this. Jeremy finds.
I mean, what was the final decision? It was just too strong a hand to fold and just too weak a hand to shove?
I don't know.
She's really going to be hoping he checks behind on the turn here. Still hurt. She never does anything in a hurry, and that makes her very, very balanced. You can't read anything about strength or weakness into that. She's trying to extract some value from any one pair hand. Well, yeah, okay. Well, it's also, she gives herself the option to get away if he does shove and she thinks he decides she's behind. I mean, this is the way she always plays. She gives herself so many options all the way down to the river.
Wow!
And he's done it. He's pulled the trigger.
Go on, my man. Go on, my man.
Yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough to make her fold. Is
she? Yeah. There's 254 in there, and it's about 85 to her. He's gonna have 320. She's gonna have 250.
She's got to call. If he shows her a 5, he shows her a 5.
If she calls and wins,
she's made the call. Good for her.
Heads-up warfare. Eventually, only 2 players remained, Maria and Jacob Mulmern. Before heads-up play began, Jacob refused to chop the prize money, confident he could outplay Maria mano a mano. But what followed was a masterclass in controlled aggression, trap setting, and cold-blooded call-downs. At one point, Maria made a massive euro call on the river with just ace-high against a huge overbet. Her hand was nothing more than a bluff catcher. But the situation, the misdraws, the line her opponent took, and his frequency pointed to a bluff. She was right again, and the tide turned permanently in her favor. The final hand. It all came down to this. After hours of high-pressure play, emotional highs and lows, fearless bluffs, and razor-thin hero calls, the tournament had reached its defining moment. Maria Lampropulos, calm, calculated, and commanding, had maneuvered her way through a field of over 1,200 players to find herself heads up against Jacob Mulmern, a formidable opponent who had entered the final duel with confidence and the chip lead. Jacob had refused to chop the prize pool. He believed he could outplay Maria. But as the heads-up battle wore on, it became increasingly clear that the tables had turned. Maria wasn't just folding her own. She was taking control. The momentum had shifted. Every move she made chipped away at Jacob's stack, and perhaps more importantly, his confidence. Then came the final hand. Maria was dealt a monster, KK, one of the most powerful starting hands in no-limit hold'em. She had shown time and again that she knew how to get value from strong hands without giving away their strength. On the other side, Jacob picked up AQ, a highly playable premium hand in heads-up poker. It was a classic setup, the kind of unavoidable confrontation that even the best players sometimes can't escape. The action escalated quickly. Maria opened the hand with a standard raise, as she had done countless times before. But Jacob, perhaps sensing an opportunity, or perhaps looking to reclaim some control, fired back with a 3-bet. For a brief moment, tension rippled across the table. Maria didn't blink. She had been here before. She had faced down massive bets with far less. She four-bet. The air thickened. Spectators leaned forward. Commentators fell into a tense hush, sensing something seismic was about to occur. Jacob tanked. He looked down at his AQ again, possibly considering Maria's recent aggression, perhaps recalling hands where she had called him down with second pair or raised with nothing but air. Maybe he thought this was another spot to test her resolve, or maybe in that moment he convinced himself that she could have a weaker ace or be making a move. He pushed all in. The call from Maria was almost instantaneous. She turned over her kings with that same composed demeanor she had maintained all tournament. No celebration, no outburst, just focus. Jacob's face told the rest of the story. He knew he was behind, and badly. The dealer prepared the board. The room was silent. 2 hands, 5 community cards, millions on the line. The flop came clean. No ace, no dramatic sweat. The turn followed, uneventful. And then the river, still no help for Jacob. It was over. Maria had done it. The chips slid across the felt into her towering stack. The dealer pushed the massive pile toward her. Jacob could only sit back in resignation as the realization settled in. She had won. The final hand was not flashy or filled with suspense. It was a cold, methodical execution of poker fundamentals. It was the exclamation point at the end of an incredible performance. A monster hand held up, and the better player prevailed. But the meaning of that hand extended beyond the cards. It was the culmination of everything Maria had brought to the table, not just that night, but over the course of days filled with pressure, doubt, and fierce competition. Her journey had been built on subtlety, discipline, and instinct. And in the end, when fate finally delivered her a premium hand, she handled it with the same precision and grace she had shown throughout. The tournament was hers. The title was hers. The £1 million were hers. And the poker world? It would never forget the moment Maria Lampropulos seized her destiny.
I mean, every one of them was a classic. I mean, I used to love it, but we were talking about this in some commentary on the Irish Open recently. Or I mean, what was it in Killarney?
What was your favorite one? Before we get into what may very well be the last hand of the tournament.
Mike McGee. Called him Mystic Mike. He can put you on a hand before you look at your card.
And if you knew Mike McGee, that is the greatest description of the man.
Closely followed.
We might have to save the rest of them for the next stream. This looks like a bit of a caller, doesn't it?
Now, with Jackarama, the crew Alexander of poker can't string 2 passes together.
Oh, I'd forgotten that one. That was all right.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Marie's in the catbird seat. If she does lose this, she's the favorite, but she'll still have a 400,000 or so chip stack. It's all in for Jacob. Beating that ace from space.
God, after all the little games of chess that we're playing,
it always winds up, doesn't it, with a big call door, very, very often. 2 huge hands here.
Get as a swing in this.
Wow. She's a big favourite now.
Tell you what, these are two total warriors of the felt. I love the way Jacob has played today.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore it. But Maria has been.
I like the way he played yesterday.
That's true too.
But it ain't over yet.
Those are the big ones. Nothing left to do but watch the deal.
And close your eyes.
This is such a big moment for both of them, especially for her, because
and they both got a big rail here, so closing your eyes doesn't help, because when you hear the big roar, you don't know who's doing it. I mean, this is for £1 million.
There it is. £1 million. Doesn't she deserve it? I mean, she's played extraordinarily well.
And honestly, the heads up was fantastic. The little tables, I mean, a great tournament has had a very, very worthy winner, and
the worthy
a very worthy runner-up. Very worthy runner-up.
Maria's poker style and legacy. Maria Lampropulos didn't just win a tournament. She redefined expectations. Her style is deceptively simple, deliberate, calm, and composed. But beneath that exterior lies a game theory-informed player who blends discipline with strategic boldness. Her play style is a hybrid of old-school patience and modern aggression. She doesn't force pots. She doesn't chase spots that aren't there. She waits, she observes, and when she strikes, she does so with a precision that unnerves even the most seasoned opponents. Perhaps her greatest asset is emotional control. In a game where tilt can destroy a session and $1 million payday, Maria showed not a flicker of stress. Whether she won or lost a pot, her demeanor remained unchanged. That level of composure under the weight of cameras, money, and pressure. That's what champions are made of. Maria's win wasn't just personal, it was symbolic. In a world dominated by male players, where bravado and aggression often overshadow subtlety and skill, she made a different statement. Excellence needs no noise, and poker, at its highest level, is about decision-making, not personality. What makes a great tournament player? Maria's triumph gives us a case study in what separates good players from great ones. In tournaments, unlike cash games, every hand is a battle for survival. The structure rewards those who can navigate shifting dynamics, stack depths, and table personalities. Great tournament players share a few rare traits. They adapt. Maria did this seamlessly, shifting gears when her stack demanded it, identifying spots to exploit weaknesses, and knowing when to tighten up. They also manage risk expertly. Maria's folds were often as impressive as her calls. She knew when to walk away from trouble, sacrificing chips to save her stack. That long-term thinking, the ability to value survival over ego, is what creates final table regulars. Then there's the psychology. Maria played the players as much as she played the cards. She noticed who was tired, who was bluffing too much, who was playing scared. She punished over-aggression with timely traps and pounced on hesitation like a predator sensing weakness. In short, she played real poker. Reactions from the poker community. The response to Maria's victory was thunderous and overwhelmingly positive. Commentators, players, and fans alike were in awe, not just at the result, but at the way she achieved it. Twitter buzzed. Forums lit up. Highlights from her heads-up play were clipped, analyzed, and celebrated. Many noted her Vero calls as particularly exceptional. These weren't random stabs in the dark. They were surgically precise, and they came at moments when the pressure was at its peak. Seasoned pros paid her respect. Even those she beat acknowledged her skill with humility. There was no luck narrative, no asterisk. She earned every chip she won. More importantly, her win reignited a long-standing conversation about gender dynamics in poker. A male-dominated space where female representation at the highest levels remains disproportionately low. Maria proved, without any need for explanation, that talent knows no gender. Impact on women in poker. Maria Lampropulos became an instant role model, not because she asked to be, but because her performance demanded it. Her calm intelligence, her fearless decision-making, and her victory on one of the game's biggest stages sent a clear message to aspiring players everywhere. You belong at the table. In an industry still grappling with inclusivity, her win was a breakthrough moment. It wasn't the first time a woman won big, but it was the most publicly strategic win in years by a woman on an open stage, battling against hundreds of men and emerging victorious, not through brute force, but intellectual finesse. She didn't need gimmicks or antics. She didn't need controversy. She let her game speak. After her win, more women began to appear in high-stakes events. Maria wasn't just a player now, she was a symbol. Poker training sites began highlighting her hands. Discussions around her play became case studies in poker theory forums. She helped shift the tone. Her impact continues to ripple through the game, inspiring a new wave of women and reminding the poker world that the next big champion could come from anywhere and be anyone. Comparisons to other legendary runs. Maria's tournament journey is often compared to the most iconic underdog stories in poker lore, like Chris Moneymaker's improbable 2003 WSOP win, or Joe Cada's youthful triumph in 2009. But what sets Maria apart is the quality of her competition and the way she beat them. She didn't get lucky flops against amateurs. She didn't coast on a single double-up. She fought her way through a minefield of elite players, each trying to push her out of pots, only to run into her well-timed traps or receive hero calls that left them stunned. Her run is also unique in its consistency. Most underdog stories in poker rely on one or two miracle hands. Maria's run, by contrast, was defined by dozens of disciplined, deeply analytical decisions. She outthought, outmaneuvered, and outlasted everyone. In that way, she's closer to players like Daniel Negreanu or Peter Holes, those who make greatness look almost boring in its consistency. But with the added twist of being an outsider entering elite territory and winning. A champion beyond the cards. Maria Lampropulos didn't just conquer a tournament, she elevated the game. Her poise, intellect, and determination resonated beyond the poker world. She reminded us that poker is a meritocracy at its core, a game where knowledge, courage, and execution matter far more than pedigree or popularity. In an age where loud personalities often overshadow technical excellence, Maria quietly walked to the final table, made her reads, played her hands, and walked away a millionaire. But more than that, she walked away as one of poker's most respected names, a modern champion whose story will inspire for years to come.